May I invite the graduates to stand? Dr. Samson Kuku, the principal of Sonoma Adventist College. I present to you these graduates who have successfully completed their course of studies while being students of this college. As prescribed by the Department of Education of the Papua New Guinea Union Mission of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and approved and recognized by the National Department of Education of the Independent State of Papua New Guinea. Therefore, Mr. Principal, as the academic registrar of this college, I am pleased to present to you 143 graduates. 11 of them will graduate with a diploma in tropical agriculture, 15 diploma in building and architectural drafting, 17 in business studies, 21 in ministerial studies, 79 in primary education, and 5 others will graduate in absentia.
Thank you. The Registrar of Sonoma Adventist College, by the power vested upon me as the Chief Executive Officer of Sonoma Adventist College, and on behalf of Papua New Guinea Union Mission, who is the proprietor of this institution and Office of Higher Education, I now declare you all graduates of Sonoma Adventist College 2009.
Now that you have been pronounced graduates of Sonoma Adventist College, in your own way, you need to respond to what Sonoma has done for you. How can you do that? And I know that every one of you have received a call, some of you maybe, and that as you go out this coming week, and go to your various ways, and as you begin to work next year, I'd like you to encourage yourself to think about Sonoma. What Sonoma has done to you. And this morning, as an officer of the Alumni Association, I'd like to invite you to become members of the alumni. And that you, in your small way, can do something to support and help the work of the alumni here at Sonoma College. I now officially welcome you as members of the Alumni Association of Sonoma Adventist College. Bear in mind that our next gathering would be in 2013. And so I hope to see you all come back with all that you can do, all right, to help support our program in that year. And do bring along all your uncles if they have some for us. Take them along with you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Congratulations to everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Sanau, for inducting our graduates as the alumni of this institution. This is an important part of our program this morning, I guess, and I believe. I shouldn't say I guess, I believe. You have worked tirelessly for the past 2 years for teacher education, and for the past 3 years for those courses with 3-year program. That is the agriculture, building, business studies, and ministerial studies. And it is a privilege and honor to present to you your award. Jeffy comes from the Gulf Province. Emma Daw. Emma comes from the Madang province. Aseline Fanny. Aseline comes from the Sandan province.
Flower outside, please. No flower, flower later. Flower later.
Kevin Joel. And
And
Kevin comes from the Manus province, but has been here for quite a long while in this province.
Flower later.
Morris Kusiri, and Morris comes from the Eastern Highlands province. The next is Linda Mako, and Linda comes from Malembay province. Next is Sharon Nene, and Sharon comes from the New Island province. Okay, the next is Janelle Omaleo. The next is Royden Ruhi. Royden Ruhi. And Royden comes from Western province. Linda Thomas, and Linda comes from the Eastern Highlands province. And the last on our list for the agriculture is Lily Wanis, and Lily comes from Southern Highlands province. The next lot would be the building and architectural drafting. And the first on the list is Paul Gannon, and Paul comes from Morbe province. Okay, my apology. The HOD, the head of the agriculture department, is Mr. Pedro Cania, and Mr. Cania comes from the Philippines. The next is building and architectural drafting, and the head of building and architectural drafting is Mr. Simeon Yosan. Wesley Giambong, and Wesley comes from Mississippi. The next is Albert Lana, and Albert comes from the New Island province. The next on our list is Berenga Lanza, and Berenga comes from this beautiful province of East New Britain. Okay, the next is Nelson L. Kukubol, and Nelson comes from East Sepik province as well as Morbe. The next is Kevin Manas. And Kevin comes from West New Britain. The next on our list is Mary Alu Maris, and Mary comes from Central and New Ireland Province. Okay, the next is Joel Nelson, and Joel comes from East New Britain Province. The next is Tony Rahu, and Tony comes from Manus Province. The next is Richard Rickis Jr., and Richard is the son of the president of the Bougainville Mission, and he comes from New Ireland and Manus. And by the way, Richard will do diploma in primary teaching next year. The next is Joey Roberts, and Joey comes from Manus Province. The next is Johnson Salom Lapan, and he comes from Medan Province. The next is Gary Sokoripa, and he comes from the Medan Province. Okay, you may be seated. The next row, please. Okay, we will begin with the building and then into the Diploma of Business Studies. Sandy Toro. Sandy Toro comes from Manus Province. And the last on our list for building is Nick Yafumi, and Nick comes from Western Highlands Province. Okay, that brings to the end of awarding of the building award. The next is Diploma in Business Studies Accounting, and the HOD is Mr. Isaiah Senau, and he comes from Manus Province. So the first on our list for the Diploma in Business Studies program is Kim Almora, and Kim comes from Bougainville, autonomous region of Bougainville. The next on our list is Sydney Fox, and Sydney comes from Western Highlands Province. Okay, the next on our list is Raylene Keno, and Raylene comes from Central Province. The next on our list is Micah Jacob, and Micah comes from the autonomous region of Bougainville. The next is Japhet Kere, and Japhet comes from Eastern Highlands Province. The next on our list is someone that comes from Southern Highlands Province, and her name is Christina Samuel Kileria. Okay, the next on our list is Peter Kwaya, and Peter comes from Central Province. And the next on our list is Bobby Koke, and Bobby comes from Southern Highlands Province. The next on our list is Nasain Melissa, and she comes from New Ireland Province. And the next on our list for this role is Aaron Mendai, and Aaron comes from Netherlands. Shannon Miko. Shannon comes from East New Britain and Bougainville. The next is Maggie Mota, and Maggie comes from West New Britain Province. The next is Dora Punaha, and Dora comes from Autonomous Region of Bougainville. Okay, the next is Ian Teaku, and Ian comes from the Autonomous Region of Bougainville. The next is Brian Raka, and Brian comes from Central Province. The next is Daisy Unefa, and Daisy comes from Eastern Highlands and Central Province. And the last on our list for the 17 graduates who have graduated with Diploma in Business Studies is Elsie Wako. And Elsie comes from Eastern Highlands as well as Autonomous Region of Bougainville. Okay, we have a situation. The HOD, Dr. Imona, HOD for Ministerial Studies, is unable to be here this morning. He's away because of compassionate. So we have us, who was Pastor Manele, our guest speaker for this morning, to stand in, who was also a former HOD of the Ministerial Studies. And he will have the honor to do the presentation as well. The Diploma in Ministerial Studies, the first on the list is Jimmy Abba. Followed by Wilfred Amos, and Wilfred comes from East Sepik but has been living in Eastern Highlands for quite a while. The next is a married student, one of our married students, and he is Gaza Azitore, and Gaza comes from Eastern Highlands province. The next on our list is Jessica Bowran, and Jessica comes from the autonomous region of Bougainville. And last on this row is Alphonse Bruce, and Alphonse comes from Eastern Highlands province. Okay, may I invite the next row to stand to receive your award. Kemona Dereba, and Kemona comes from Central Province. The next name is an interesting case because he is the second of the family to pass out from this college. The father is also a member of, pastor of the Seventh Adventist Church, and the son is following in his footsteps, and that is Dominic Elwin. And Dominic comes from Southern Highlands province. This ministerial group that are graduating has the highest number of female graduates. And the first one was Jessica, and the second one is Martha Esio. And Martha comes from Enga province. The next person to receive is a senior in the class. He has been working for the church for quite a while, has held responsible positions before he came and joined us. And so the ministerial department, when they processed his application, they decided to put him straight into second year. He bypassed first year of study and came straight into the second year of study. And that is Pastor Johannes Tezamo. Pastor Tezamo comes from Eastern Highlands province. It is also a unique experience because both the father and the son are graduating today. And the son is Jonah Tezamo. We'll give them a moment to take the photographs. Okay, the next on our list is Ronnie Himuku, and Ronnie comes from Southern Highlands province. The next is followed by Herbert Kusiwai, and Herbert comes from, I guess you know, the color of the skin. The next is Daniel Laren, and Daniel comes from Enga province. The next has taken quite a while to finish his complete his studies, but we are glad that he is marching out today, and that is none other than Darius Leon. And Darius comes from East New Britain province. The last of the female within this ministerial study group is Gimana Leonard, and Gimana comes from Melembe province. We have 3 married students within this group that are graduating today, and one of them is Gary Yen Manele, the son of Pastor Jim Manele. The next name, the surname is quite confusing for us at the start. We called him Mambo, but he's actually Mamle. George Sine from the Simbu province. Okay, thank you. The next row, please. He is the current president or the president, SRC president of 2009, and he is Samson Buno Obedi. Harry Omohai, and Harry comes from Eastern Highlands province. Second last on the ministerial list is Timion Timothy, and Timion comes from Eastern Highlands province. The last on the ministerial list is from Solomon Islands. He struggled, but we praise God that he is able to complete his studies this morning and is able to graduate, and that is Semi Zongehite. That brings to the end of presentation of diploma to ministerial studies. We begin with the biggest group on the campus, and that is the primary education. And we are going to see 79 of them receiving their awards this morning. And the HOD, the head of the education department that started the position this year, is Jeffrey Wada, and Jeffrey comes from Manus province. Rachel Aliu, and Rachel comes from New Island province. The next is Andy Lobo. Andy and Lobo comes from Eastern Highlands Province. The next on our list is Elwina Awasi, and Elwina comes from the autonomous region of Bougainville. The next on our list is Paul Saupingi Awali, and Paul comes from Anga Province. The next on our list is Beverly Balik, and Beverly comes from both Central Province and Manus. I call Central because he spent most of his life in Central. The next is Tom Bankoma Peter, and Tom comes from Eastern Highlands Province. The next is Sonia Barnabas, and Sonia comes from Eastern Highlands Province. The next one